fans and also Dalton local school district students. Since you didn't have a chance to do one last walkthrough today, I will do one last walkthrough. Give some thank yous out. Thank you, Mr. Miller, for teaching me biology and teaching me how to cut things up and smell some really nasty stuff, but telling me that, or showing me the difference between RNA and DNA. Thank you. Thank you, freshman hallway. Yes, my freshman hallway. Thank you, Mr. Welch, for teaching me STEM, teaching me how science and technology and mathematics all connects together and allows me to build bridges. Thank you, Mrs. Thistlethwaite, for allowing me to call you just Mrs. T because that's such a long name, but teaching me how to make cars out of CDs and the difference between our ionic bonds and covalent bonds. Thank you very much. Once again, my freshman hallway, thank you for allowing me to be a part of you. Thank you, Mrs. Coolins and Miss Rossler, for taking care of me when I was sick and helping me, and also changing my passwords whenever I forgot them or reminded me what my passwords were. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Brock, for being my business teacher, or Mr. Dial for being my business teacher, and I can't forget Savannah, my first couple years being my business teacher. Thank you, and also being my football coach, Mr. Dial. Thank you, Mr. Reed, for teaching me Algebra 2 and also giving me a place as a senior to come and take senior math when I didn't want to go into the really hard math. Thank you for being my basketball coach. Gracias, Senor Jackson. Gracias por enseñarme uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Thank you, the other half of my freshman hallway, for introducing me to high school. Thank you for Miss Gallagher. Thank you for being a helpful person and assisting whenever I needed some help and being a great cheerleading coach. And also Mrs. Dye for helping out also. Thank you, preschool students, for always reminding me what it was like to be worry-free and didn't have to worry about anything. I just came to school with my little backpack on. Thank you for reminding me that. Thank you, Mrs. Boyer, for being a helpful ear to listen to me, to help me in my classes, and also for Mr. Holt, because Mr. Holt was here his first year. Thank you, Mr. Grawl, for giving me those awful Ohio tests that I had to take every year. Also, thank you for helping me make sure I had enough classes and make sure I had my college applications done correctly. Thank you very much. Thank you for also providing scholarships and giving me the opportunities. Thank you, Mr. Black, and also Mr. Stutz, for making sure I adhered to all the school rules. Thank you very much. We deeply appreciate it, but you're also very supportive in whatever we did. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Doty, for teaching me world history and the world conflicts, but also teaching me government and the Constitution and all the amendments of the Constitution. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. McFerrin, for being such an awesome English teacher, but also being an awesome person, being an ear that I can always talk to, and you would listen and you would help me out. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Augsburger, for teaching me English and also giving me confidence to be a track and cross-country runner. You provided confidence and support to me. Thank you very much. Thank you, restrooms, for allowing me to go to the restroom, but also providing me an opportunity to go to the restroom, but also check my cell phone. Shh, we won't tell anybody. Thank you, hallway, for giving me the opportunity after lunch for idle chit chat with my friends. And it was pretty much meaningless, but it was idle chit chat. Thank you very much. Thank you, hallway that led to the locker rooms where I could do phys ed and go to my sporting events. Thank you very much. The locker rooms are being waxed right now, so we can't go in there. That's okay. Thank you, Mr. Huth and Mrs. Greer. Sort of dark in there. Thank you for teaching me how to score in bowling and the rules of mat ball. Thank you, Aaliyah, down in the training room. Thank you very much for taking care of my injuries when I was hurt and also giving me an area to go to when I didn't want to quite go to practice yet. And I wanted some place to go to to spend 15 minutes so I can get out of 15 minutes of practice. Can't go to locker rooms, but we can go one last walk up to the stadium. That was such a fun walk to go up to football games, track events. Thank you very much. Thank you, football stadium, for providing many opportunities for us to play football, and also our track for our track events that we had here, and also cross-country practices. Thank you very much. One last look. Thank you, wrestling room, for my first 3 years. Thank you very much for all the sweat that we had, and also probably when I was in junior high. Thank you, wrestling room. Thank you, auxiliary gym, for being the home to crazy mat ball games, badminton games. Allow me to walk during phys ed, but also many basketball and volleyball practices. Thank you very much. Thank you, new wrestling room over there. Thank you, gymnasium. Thank you, gymnasium, to give me an opportunity to be able to play basketball and volleyball, do some bowling in here. Thank you very much. Thank you, community, who used to fill these stands whenever I played basketball and volleyball. Thank you very much. You're a very supportive community, and you've always been here for us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all that you've done for us. Thank you, doors, for allowing me to come to school every day. Thank you, cafeteria, for giving me a place to eat at lunch, and also just check my phone. That was so awesome. And just have idle chit chat with my friends. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hurst and Mr. McGinney, and all the custodians, and Scott Well and Mr. for making sure our facilities are so nice and clean and stay very, very nice. Thank you, Mrs. Ed, for creativity does matter, and teaching me my lines of symmetry and abstract art, and also giving me confidence in regards to being a speaker in speech class. Thank you, Mrs. Carr. and Mr. Kaiserman for teaching me how to read music, and that music is beautiful, and you've done an outstanding job of the choirs and the bands that we do here. Thank you very much for allowing me to express myself in a very musical way. Thank you, stage. Thank you, auditorium, for providing me providing me the opportunity to be a part of musical productions and one-act plays and fall productions. Thank you very much for allowing me that opportunity to be able to do that. And also the sports awards programs, which we so dearly enjoyed. And the fans and the family, and once again the community that used to support us in all those productions. Thank you for coming to them. There we go. Just one last walk through the hallways here, folks. Thank you, Mr. Clark, for teaching me similar triangles and FOIL and all the algebra and geometry. This is Mr. Clark's last year. Please, if you have time, send him an email at dclark@daltonlocal.org, dclark@daltonlocal.org, and congratulate him, and maybe tell him one of your favorite memories. And thank him for being a teacher at the Dalton Local School District for a long time. So send an email to Mr. Clark. Thank you, Mr. Martin, for babysitting me during my study hall periods and allowing me to use the Chromebooks to supposedly do my homework, but we all know that we're watching Netflix or we're getting on YouTube. Gracias, Señora Schaefer. Gracias por cenar conversación en español. I know. I'm not going to quit my job of being a math teacher. Thank you, resource officers. There was many as we've gone through the school. Thank you for keeping us safe in the school district. Thank you, Mr. Shipley. Thank you for teaching us the U.S. history and about all the wars and also the movies in the world that we had. Thank you, Mr. Shipley. And finally, the home where we all became a member of the Pythagorean Brotherhood and we learned trigonometry. There's our good old buddy Pythagoras. Thank you, room 127, for being able to do that for us and to learn calculus. Thank you. And finally, I would just like to say congratulations, class of 2020. I hope you liked your little virtual tour. It's the least we can do. You've done an outstanding job. Thank you for all that you've done for the school district. Appreciate you. I miss you guys. I wish we were all together celebrating at the very end here, but that's okay. We will all come out the other end of this. And we will be okay. We will be okay. We will even more appreciate the little things that we can do in life as we go through the next couple weeks, next couple months. We'll appreciate them even more. Not that we didn't before. We always appreciated, but little things of just going out to Double D and hanging out. Just those little things that we've learned to just grow accustomed to that was sort of taken away from us for a while. You should be very proud of how you have accomplished the last 9 weeks of your schooling. All of you have done a great job. It's something that's brand new to everybody, but you've done a nice job. But once again, I would just like to congratulate the class of 2020. You've done well. Good luck in your college, into your college, and don't be strangers. Don't be strangers here at Dalton High School. Okay, once a bulldog, always a bulldog. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed your tour. Adios. See ya.